Love triangles are a situation where typically three parties are involved, and there's one person within the triangle that is in love or romantically involved with two different people. These things are very messy, very complicated, and very emotionally a lot. Love triangles could be very complicated and something that's really hard to go through. And one of the reasons I decided to make this video is because I seen there was a lack of content about love triangles. And I feel like people need to see more because I'm sure that a lot more people experience this than not. So I think it's really important just to share my experience and break down some of the dynamics within a love triangle. So in my love triangle, I am actually one of the parties that is split between another person. And it is a very weird and vulnerable dynamic to be in. You really learn a lot about yourself and you go through a lot of emotions. And it isn't the easiest. I would definitely say it's probably one of the hardest things I had to go through in life. But being one of the parties that is being decided on, being one of the parties that gets decided on, it really brings up a lot of different feelings such as insecurity, guilt, anger, sorrow, confusion. It just brings up a lot of feelings of discomfort and you're just really unsure. And another part of it, it becomes somewhat of a competition between you and the other party. And it's not like an active competition where you're like, oh yes, I'm competing against this person, but it's one of those things where you're both vying for the person that you love's affection, and you feel like you're up against another individual. So naturally, it would feel like somewhat of a competition. You know, we all understand there's no winners or losers in the situation, but your brain can't help but to make it akin to a situation like that. And being in that situation itself, being one of those parties, you are a part of a power imbalance in ways, because the person who is stuck in between the two people, they get comfort from both sides. And typically it's because of very different reasons. One side might offer them something that the other side does not offer, which is why they are so split in the decision. And it's not like they don't love these people. Typically, they usually do. And that's what's making it so hard for them to decide between the two parties. And again, it creates somewhat of a power imbalance because now the other two parties are waiting and waiting for this person to make a decision and just putting their all out there. And this person can't put all of themselves into either party because they're split between the two. And creates a very interesting dynamic to be a part of, and it leaves one of four decisions to happen. And either the first decision being that the person makes a choice, the second decision being that they don't make a choice and decide to walk away altogether, the third decision being that the one of the parties decides to walk away, or the fourth being that no decision is made and that this state of limbo is more continuous. Out of those four choices, in reality, it's a losing game. Someone's going to get hurt. And I think that is the biggest fear of the choosing person, because they do care. They do love the two parties and they love what they provide for them. They don't want to hurt anybody or let either of them go. That's where the situation gets very tricky and messy, and it could create a lot of drama. The entire situation just creates a state of confusion. That's it. Everybody's confused. The person who's doing the choosing is confused. People who are getting chosen between are confused. And it's just a very confusing dynamic to be a part of and to go through. I'm speaking from experience. As I stated before, I'm going through my own love triangle and actively going through my own love triangle. I just don't want to say that I'm perfect and that I've been through it and I have all the answers, because I don't. I'm actively going through it, as maybe somebody who's watching this video is too. I just want to say, it's okay. We have a choice to make as well. If you are one of the people who is getting chosen between, you have a choice to walk away. That is always within your power. There is no shame in walking away. Do not feel like you lost. It is a decision out of self-respect and whatever you have the capacity to handle. If you are the party that's doing the choosing, give yourself a bit more grace. Put yourself in the shoes of the people that you're deciding between and understand what they're going through and what those feelings are like. I don't want to rush you in a decision or tell you that you need to decide, because I think every situation is different, and I don't think anything is too general enough to be imparting that type of advice. But just be a bit more empathetic towards what the other parties are going through. I do know your indecisiveness is causing you a bit of suffering on your own. I acknowledge that, and I'm sure the other parties are acknowledging that. Be mindful of the situation in general. Also, just be honest. Honesty is the best thing that you could possibly do, because if you're not honest, then you take the choice away from the two people that you're stuck in between of. And it's just better to let everybody know what's going on than trying to go from this person to that person and figure it out on your own. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with the love triangles. If you guys have any suggestions on other videos to make or have any comments, I would love to hear. If you want to tell me about your own experience in the comments, I would definitely appreciate that. I would love to hear them. To anybody going through this, you're seen. These situations do exist and you're not alone. You'll get through it. Like, a decision will be made one way or another. You'll get through it.